completed together. There were several incentives for the next game, which is Road Trip Adventure, Konasumi. By my tally here, the character name seems like Granddad has one. Currency name, it seems like Du Hast. Came out, oh no, as I say that, memes actually jumping into the lead here. We'll see what happens when we actually go live. And purple, the car color, you've seen it in the lead for the past little while. Keep in mind, there are other incentives, guys, right all the way through to the very end of the marathon. You can check them out when you go to donate online. We have $75 here from Casavir. It says, longtime watcher, first-time donator. Love the speed at which you crush the games. Keep it coming and save those animals. If you're just tuning in, I'll give you an update on Save versus Kill the Animals. Kill the Animals actually, during this past couple of hours, has jumped ahead by almost $8,500. So if you're a donator that wants to save those animals, keep that in mind. We have a donation of $5 from the MJB. This is my girlfriend's grandfather passed away due to pancreatic cancer right before Christmas. Knowing how much it affected her, I don't want others to have to feel that same pain. Here's to him and to beating cancer. We're going to go to a quick ad. The ad is for Speed Runs Live, or SRL. And SRL is sort of a welcoming environment where, as you can see there, there's races that happen in all types of games. These three you see here, that's only 3 of many. You can see that every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Over the next little while, they've got Final Fantasy IV. They've got Portal coming up on the 28th. So check them out, Speed Runs Live. As I said, coming up next is Road Trip Adventure. We're just getting set here, doing some setup. We had a $20 donation here, anonymous, that asks, when's Marvel? Well, I'll tell you, we got Road Trip Adventure coming up next. If people are looking for the schedule, though, you can find that online, of course. Ash Solano donated $25. Said, a coworker of mine told me earlier she was leaving work to visit her childhood friend Sherry at the hospital who's fighting breast cancer. Thought this would be the perfect time to donate and dedicate it to her. This donation is dedicated to Sherry Sprayberry. Thank you, everyone who put this amazing event together. You guys make me proud to call myself a gamer. And as we have for all the runs, we've got some dedicated gamers here in the crowd. Not on the current camera shot necessarily, but we've got a good crowd here in the front. Getting ready for the RTA run. We have $20 here from Ayagra the Orcish Fiddler. Says, longtime watcher, first-time donator, lost my father to chemotherapy complications years ago, so It's an honor to finally be able to donate to this great cause and try to save others from such loss. Together, we can push it to 500K easily. I like the sound of that. Hey, attendees, do we like the sound of 500K? Can we get some woos for that? Does that sound like a cool goal? Currently standing $303,737. And the donations are still rolling in, even though it is 6:14 a.m. We want to thank all of you that are joining us on Twitch and on YouTube as well. Asian Ace donates $20 and has their own story. Longtime viewer, first time donating. My uncle lost his battle with cancer and passed less than 2 weeks ago. Cancer took another amazing person too soon. You're all doing an amazing thing, and I'm happy to donate to an amazing cause in my uncle's memory. Good luck to the rest of the runners. The donations continuing to roll in here. We want to thank all donators, of course. George donates $20 and says, hey guys, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and told she only had 3 months to live. It's been 7 years now and she's fully cured. So thank you to everyone who helps this cause. It is truly remarkable. Taki Soki says, with their $10 donation, $5 to kill the animals, another $5 for Super Metroid rotation. Reminder to you guys, check out those incentives because they are running all the way throughout the week. But I'm going to hand it over here now. We have Prolix, who's going to be joining you guys and being here with you for this, at least the next game. My name is Ghetto Whale. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your mornings.
Hello, everyone. Prolix here, bringing you a run. Next up, Road Trip Adventure and Any Percent by Konasumi. Konasumi. I've got character name option, car color, all that ready for you. Okay. Okay. We received a $10 donation from Top Hat who says, "Love Road Trip, played many, many, many hours of this game. Devil parts on my and my entire team. Awesome marathon, guys. So proud to be able to watch it. Keep it up." And Monty with a $100 donation simply says, "Our memes will no longer be dreams." That's referring to some of the bid wars that were going on, some incentives on naming a few aspects of the game. Anonymous donated $20 to the Prevent Cancer Foundation and said, "Thanks for the amazing event. Best introduction to speedrunning out there." We appreciate it. character name winner was Gashu, Gashu. Purple won the car color challenge. And the currency name should be memes, but I hear there's a 4-character limit, so we probably got to make that meme. Yeah. As we prepare for Road Trip Adventure, one more reminder, minimum donations do qualify you for drawing entry into some prizes currently available. We have our grand prize, of course, PS4 Pro VR bundle, and there's also an AGDQ banner available right now. When you go to gamesdonequick.com and donate, you'll see information on the minimum donations required to get an entry there. The official rules are also on the website. And now we'll be taking it to Road Trip Adventure, an any percent run by Konasumi. Take it away, everyone.
What's up, guys? My name is Konasumi, and I'm going to do a speedrun of Road Trip Adventure for the PS2. And if we can do a quick couch roll call.
Nice.
This is Natty back behind.
So
we got
Sorry.
Paul as well,
Yeah.
all the way from Finland.
So if you're not familiar with Road Trip Adventure, it can be best described as a car PG, and you will see why as we get into the game here. And I think it is truly something special, and I hope you all enjoy it. So we're going to begin a new game here. I have the donation incentives in front of me for file name and currency name. So thank you all for donating for those. We will be going with Gashu for the file name. And then for the currency name will be meme. I had to shorten it down from memes. All right, so we are ready to go. Am I okay to call time? Or to begin? All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Woo! All right, so at the very start of the game, you get a cutscene describing the whole story of the game. And the main plot of the game is that the president of the world no longer wants to be president. So he's giving up his presidency to the person who wins the World Grand Prix. But we're not going to do that because it's pretty slow and boring. And you guys also donated for the car color, which is going to be purple. Let me just go ahead and do that real quick. Get some RGB values here. That's pretty good purple. We'll buy that. And now we're on our way. So you're going to quickly see that this game is entirely open world. There are no invisible walls to be found anywhere, and you can go anywhere you want. There's a number of towns in the game you can visit. Each have their own set of inhabitants and side quests to do. But in the 80% run, we're not going to be doing very many of those, and you will see why later in the run. We're going to do some pretty big skips that skip all of that, obviously. So first off, we have to go over to Papaya Island to get some rocket boosters for our cars. And the quickest way to go there is just to toss our car into the ocean and go there by car.
Don't forget Pushkins.
That's right. So as you hear, this game has a set of MIDI tracks for the default music. But if you're going on a road trip, you wanna jam out to some cool music, right? So let's change that. So Road Trip features some songs by the Push Kings and the Waking Hours. And if you've played this game, you probably know about these songs and how they're pretty memorable. And also something I want to note, in Japan, this game is known as Chorokyu High Grade 2, and in Europe as Road Trip Adventure. While in America, it's named Road Trip. But we always go by the PAL naming because it's most, you can recognize it the most. So as you can see on our mini-map, we are quickly approaching Papaya Island. Gonna make sure I'm aimed properly here. And then once we're here, we want to go over to the Q's factory and make a warp point so we can warp back later in the game. All right, we're quickly approaching land here. And now we're at Papaya Island. And as you can see, there's a lot of cool buildings here, some cars driving around. And we're gonna go into the Q's factory. Every town has a Q's factory, and by entering it, you can make a warp point, so you don't have to drive all the way back if you want to return to the city later. So now we're going to do our first trick in the game. We have to go ahead and jump a gap with our car, and we can abuse the physics engine of the game to allow us to glide a bit further. So I'll be going for that pretty soon here. Hopefully I can get this first try. It's gone pretty well in practice so far. Just want to hug the inside of the corner a bit and then go on the outside and then turn. Nice, I got it.
With the default parts of the car, you're not actually meant to be able to make that jump, but we found a way.
So we ran into a guy named Sandro, and his wife, Karori, is missing, and we have to go find her. And she happens to be pretty close by here, so we just go through the cave, and we will quickly find her. Karori drives around in a circle, so hopefully we're gonna get a good cycle, which we did. And we can talk to cars by running into them, and they will tell us a story. So now we have to return to Sandro's house. And you're probably wondering, how am I gonna get there without, since I took the cave and fell into the water? Well, we're just gonna go ahead and drive up the wall. You know, just like in real life here. So a funny quirk about this game is that they never limited you when you go reverse. Because typically if you try to do the same thing I just did while going forwards, the game will kind of glitch out a bit and not allow you to do it. But they forgot to implement that for when you go in reverse. So now because we got the jet turbines from Sandro, we can now warp back to Peach Town, our starting city, and put them on our car. We can access all your parts from here and equip new parts. I'm going to save the game very briefly because it has a chance to crash here. Hopefully it doesn't, but it happened to me a few times in practice. And now what we have to do, we have to go over to Sampolis to grind some money. And as you can see with our jet boosters, we're going pretty fast here. We can go over 200 miles per hour with the stock parts. Just gonna go over some hills here. Oh, that happened. You will see that pretty often here. All right, thanks guys. So now we gotta go into a quick pick shop, which is one of the things, there's like 100 of these on the map, and you have to get all 100 to get a certain stamp. And that happens to be pretty close by to the bridge, so we can go refuel our car by entering. So now I'm attempting a skip called Fuji City Skip, and this is actually pretty hard. And this has a pretty good chance of failing, but I will go for it regardless. And we're just gonna go fly off the median. And now we're driving on top of the forest, and it's really hard to see, and I want to try to get across to the other side of town here. Oh, dang it. Yeah, that can happen sometimes, but thankfully, You can just go around the outside without troubles. But I have to be very careful because sometimes the car will glitch out and fall into the ocean. Not too long of a drive though. And then we'll have to refuel once more. Alright, nice. We'll go into this house here. You can race this guy on a highway, but we don't have to do that for any percent.
Yeah, on the bottom right of the speedometer there's the meter. That's your fuel meter, and it gets really sucked up by the jet boosters. So, but entering houses will refuel your car.
So now we're crossing over the desert to go to Sampolis, where we have to go and grind some money. And this right here is by far, it's by far the hardest trick in the entire game. It's a couple frame window, so hopefully I can get it pretty quickly. And it's pretty risky normally, but I will be making a safety save so that I don't lose all my money and have to start over. All right, quickly saving the game here. And if I can't get this within the first few tries, I have a backup file I can load, so that hopefully will not be an issue. Gonna call for some serious time here while I do this. Gonna bet on 16. No, I was a bit off there. So with this trick, I have to use a visual cue, which is spamming the rockets once I see the double zeros in front of my car. And because the wheel's spinning so fast, it's a very tight trick, and the visual cue itself is pretty hard to see. And there are a number of visual cues people use for gauging roulette, and a bunch of different numbers you can bet on and all that. We're gonna quit out and then quit back in, or load back in. Thankfully, save quitting and entering the game again doesn't take too much time.
Usually if we were going for a PB, that would be the run dead because we wouldn't have saved and we'd be out of money. But yeah, the save really helps there for marathon purposes.
Oh, we got it. All right, let's try it again. Second time's a charm. Oh, I like that. Nope. Just a bit off. All right, I'm gonna go for this 1 to 2 more times before I load my backup file. I don't want to spend too much time on this trick. Because after roulette, things get a lot more interesting, in my opinion. And there's the stamp book right there. You can look at that any time to view all of the objectives you completed, as well as your picture album. All right, let's go for it once more. Start the roulette. I was still a bit off. All right, I will go for it one last time before loading my file. Thank you, man. All right, we're going to go for it one more time, like I said, so hopefully we can get it. Also, an unfortunate thing about this game is that you can only have one save file per memory card. So if I load my backup file, I'm going to have to go swap out memory cards real quick.
It's kind of funny that that's a thing too, being that the files take up hardly any space at all.
Yeah, that's true. All right, start the roulette for the 4th time.
It's slow.
Nice.
No.
The roulette wheel has a weird thing where occasionally it'll just go a lot slower than normal, and that just completely messes up your visual cue and your timing.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on from roulette. I will load up my backup file in just a second here. I made one just in case this would happen. Gonna have to quit out one more time. All right, there we go. Nice, all right. So this file has all the money I need for roulette. And now we're gonna go over to Papaya Island once more so we can buy some parts for our card. That's why we need the money in the first place. And I will be doing some more physics exploits and all that pretty soon. And then we're gonna make our way over to Cloud Hill where we're gonna fight the president and complete the game. All right, got all of our parts. We will equip these once we get to Cloud Hill. But before that, let's go climb up another wall. Because why not? Oh. All right, backing up. Oh, it's not over yet, guys. We just begun here. So if we line this up properly, we should land in the doorway here. Nice, I got it. So now we went to the warp point for Cloud Hill, and now we're in Cloud Hill, which is a city in the sky. Let's go ahead and put all those parts on. All right, that's everything. And now we have a huge skip we're gonna do pretty soon. Just gotta make our way over to the White House here, which is at the end of this rainbow road here. So this person is pretty important. If we line them up here in front of the gates and get a good angle, we will hopefully see something cool happen. So this trick is really cool. It's backwards momentum storage. And the gate that you run into has a weird property to it, well, where it'll push you back pretty violently. And if you talk to the gate man at the same frame as when you run into the wall, you will store backwards momentum. And if we go back far enough, the world will spawn in again and we'll hit the loading zone for the final boss. And that probably saves maybe an hour and 15 perhaps. And that was found by one of the Japanese taskers for this game. And speaking of which, that task is under 10 minutes. It's a really cool task. It does some really wacky physics exploits that are not possible in RTA.
And in this final race, they get the president to push them to the finish line rather than doing roulette to buy better parts.
So now we're in a 3-lap race against the president, which is a pretty easy race. But the big challenge is making sure you don't run out of gas during it. Going to be aiming for 42 to 43 lap times here. Ah, nice. That's a 41. That's pretty good. I typically use the rockets to accelerate out of corners rather than get higher top speed on the straightaways. Because the car's already going pretty fast as it is during the straights. And while I'm in this race, I want to give a big shout out to the RTA community. You guys are all really awesome. It's awesome hanging out with you guys. And together, this game has gotten pretty short.
Let's make it even shorter.
And also, for those wondering, the current record is 12 minutes to beat the game.
By you.
Oh, I'm running low on fuel. I gotta conserve my rockets here. All right, time's coming up in about 10 seconds here. All right, the final stretch, here it is. And time. $18:38. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Thank you, guys. 38? Yeah, still really good. I'm pretty happy with that time. This run went pretty well overall besides roulette. And I hope you all enjoyed it. But before we go, we gotta see if the game crashes or not. So after you beat the president, he will give you this dialogue about how you're gonna be the next president, and he'll give you a body and such. But this has a chance to crash right here. And hopefully it does. No, unfortunately not. Yeah, you get this ending cutscene. The gate's still closed, which is pretty funny.
It tends to crash more often when there isn't a save file involved. If you're doing like a full-on run of this game and you never have to save, the game will typically crash and leave the controller vibrating violently.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much all we got here. I hope everybody, again, enjoyed the run and had a pretty good time. And thank you all for couching, too. You were all pretty good with commentary.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
A lot of love from the RTA community coming in during that run. We had a $5 donation from Anonymous who simply said, "Whee!"